Happy holidays from Bloodbath TV. Now, when you think of crazy Pinocchio movies from the 90s, you think of Pinocchio's Revenge.
Evil comes in all shapes and sizes.
Well, not anymore, as today we check out Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker.
I'm your son now, not him.
Most people only get through the first couple of Silent Night, Deadly Night movies before they realize, I don't need any more of this. And I agree somewhat. It does start to fall apart. I mean, the fourth one's barely even about Christmas. And number 5, it's basically the Halloween 3 of Silent Night, Deadly Night. This was a pretty interesting watch, especially at the end, which we will be talking about. This will be full of spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, brace yourself, because we're gonna dig into the wildness of the ending. The setup is pretty straightforward. We have Kid, who walks in on his mom getting with dad, and he decides to go downstairs and he finds this like toy at the door. Somehow, I guess he heard like a doorbell. I didn't hear that. I just heard banging. He starts to open up this toy.
Hey! What in God's name are you doing up at this hour? And what is that?
Dad catches him and holds him up awkwardly for a very long time while he scolds him, and then proceeds to open the gift himself, the son of a bitch. It said don't open till Christmas. Well, Tom here pulls out this Pokeball Santa thing, and it just attacks him. It wraps around his face and kills him. And Derek becomes a mute, and we skip 2 weeks.
And this is where the mystery element starts to begin for us, because right away we're introduced to 3 new characters. We're introduced to Noah, who is like creeping outside the house. Then we have Pedo and Pino.
Can we call them Joe Pedo? He's a toy maker.
He's got a son, Pino.
It's so straight. I mean, it's obvious. Joe Pedo. He's played by Mickey Rooney, which is hilarious and creepy at the same time. And he gets super pissed all the time as well.
What kind of a son are you? A real son would help his father. You keep undermining me. I'd rather have a son like that.
But he owns this toy store, and mom is like, Derek, we gotta get you out of this funk. You've had 2 weeks to think about your dad's death. It's time to move on. She doesn't seem to be fazed by it.
Well, she knows the truth.
Oh yeah, it's not his dad. Noah is.
Hi. You don't know me, but let's just say I want to be your friend, okay?
That's a reveal later on in the film. They go to the toy store, and this is where we have like Noah creep in there. We meet Pino and Joe. Joe is fucking making killer toys, and Noah is onto him because back in his hotel room, he's been picking up all these toys and he's like removing the dangerous parts, and that's what he's trying to deliver.
Yeah, and that's what I found interesting about this, is because it created a good guessing game. We actually had a good debate on trying to figure out who was making the toys.
You think I'm gonna skip out on you? I paid you for the last 2 weeks, didn't I?
That was then. This is now.
You give me till tomorrow and I'm gonna give you a nice little toy for your kid for Christmas.
The first death was a little weak, our Pokeball Santa, but once we got that like Larry the Larvae, that was a great death.
This better be good.
Oh yeah, it's to die for.
It seemed like a fun toy.
It extends and retracts.
And it extends right into his mouth and out his eye. For such a cool death, there was like no blood to it. It's weird.
Yeah, but we had a good explosion.
Yes. Fast forward, we have the babysitter and her boyfriend getting harassed by the coolest dressed kid, now with his newfound rollerblades.
Little shit.
A few moments later.
This is like closer to the end of the movie, and this is where we get the best showdown with the toys and this couple while they're trying to get it on.
And it's in front.
Oh, don't rip it!
I'm like, get it off.
Move over, small soldiers. The Gorgonites don't stand a chance against these toys.
I really like this part. This is like, so a lot of this movie just drags on. I mean, there's some little moments where we see like a Clint Howard cameo while Noah is dressing up like Santa to try to get closer to his son with that babe of an elf.
Nothing like that California cutie we have for an elf. Ho, ho, ho!
And then there's like other things too that happen, like where Pino's like creeping around the house, and like we're building up like the backstory for why this house is so important. It used to be the pedo house. It's a weird thing to say.
It's weird to say. But back to the sex scene with the toys. It's great. You got a little snake, you got the creeper hand, and he just grabs dude's butt.
That feels good. Oh, you never touched me there before.
It went for like a good boob grab too.
The hand starts choking dude. The snake wraps around the hands. We have like this weird little blade car come and cut the guy. We get a cannon to the babysitter's chest.
Not only did we get one sex scene, we got 2 sex scenes at the same time. So this is where Noah's revealed as like Derek's father. So him and Sarah bang in the back of his Jimmy.
I'll take the ride.
Okay.
We really thought he was gonna be called Jiminy.
He just drives a Jimmy, that's all. It's as close as you get.
Yeah, so it's cutting between like regular sex and like getting killed sex. And that scene gets bloody, it's crazy. That little chomper guy going right for the goods.
What's that? They're not hungry hippos, but there's like an alligator game.
I'm a crooked dolphin.
I win!
I feel so much better.
Crocodile Dentist!
From Milton Bradley.
We also find out who put those toys there, and it was Joe Petto. Who would have known?
Here's one of those moments in films where you see Mickey Rooney as a killer Santa, and as the IMDb trivia states, he was really bitter towards the first one because he was like the OG voice of Saint Nick. He played good Santa Claus, and then he goes on to be a killer Santa Claus.
Or did he? Dun dun dun. We have the best reveal of all time. They go into the basement of the toy shop because they're like, we need to get to the bottom of this. We need to find out what's happened. Pino has fallen down the stairs because Mickey Rooney got drunk and pushed him down there. So we don't really know what's happened to him.
But we speculated that Pino was never a real boy. We always assumed he was
Pinocchio.
And when you get Joe Petto's backstory of his wife was pregnant and died with their unborn child, you know 100% that the toy maker himself was making a son.
But wait, there's more. Because we find out that Joe Petto's been dead for ages, it seems. And the killer Santa that we saw pulls some Total Recall shit and pulls his face off. And he's a robot guy.
This film dragged for such a long time, and then we get like 15 minutes of non-stop glorious chaos. I was loving all of these twists and turns.
It is Pino, I guess, and he puts on his real face, and he's just this walking doll looking like a real boy, except for, you know.
My father could make anything. Well, almost anything.
I think Pino was a little confused. When he went to the old Google and searched mother-son relationships, he accidentally went to a couple of the wrong sites.
You can be my mommy.
Damn you! Where's Derek? You don't need Derek!
I knew you'd come! I love you! I love you! I want you!
Oh, it was crazy. And he just had like one-liner after one-liner. This actor was killing it, dude.
I'm your son now! Not him!
I feel like all the acting in the movie was really good.
Except for Derek. I hated Derek.
Except Derek. This guy would rival Bob. Bob, fuck Bob.
And they're on the starting grid set for the big race, Yogi. On your marks, go!
Derek, even though he didn't say anything, he was just really annoying.
Yeah, and like going back, when we talked about how we thought he was traumatized by seeing his dad die, I really think he was just affected from seeing his parents having sex, because when the babysitter's banging, he's losing his mind.
Well, we're looking at the timeline, and apparently he's only 6 years old.
There's been 6 years since you left, and I guess I never thought I'd see you again.
This kid's not 6. I mean, the way that he eats eggs is kind of like a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
he grabbed them like titties.
I mean, if you're watching the Rambo cartoon, you gotta be over 6.
But this movie's all about just like the ending. It takes a long time to get there, but it is great.
When he found out I rigged those toys and sent them to your house, he was so angry with me.
We have a collaborative effort between Noah and Sarah, bonding while they're trying to save Derek, who's been scooped up into a bag and is hanging there, while Pinocchio's stabbing all the sacks. And then eventually he just gets disarmed and cut in half and basically just like broken to bits. But we've always got that sequel bait ready for you, and I'm ready for another one. It's been quite a while. I've been waiting 30 years now for it, and I'm hoping we get one soon. Silent Night, Deadly Night 6, Pinocchio's Revenge.
Just a toy.
It is shocking that I don't hear anybody talk about this movie though, especially because of the ending. When you have a decent movie at the end of your franchise, you would have had to go through all of them. Like if they would have called this anything else, I think people would have watched it more.
Yeah, they could have easily just called it The Toy Maker's Revenge. Like you needed revenge at the time.
Because you do still kind of want to hide that it's a Pinocchio movie, even though it's pretty damn evident.
As he yawned and stretched and scratched his head, he felt 2 furry ears growing from his head.
There's not much to be said about this movie. It's mediocre, but the end is really great because of the constant twists. We get that one really brutal kill scene, And it's just a fun, enjoyable Christmas movie that I think people should check out, but it's not like a hard recommendation, but you know, stop watching all these stupid Krampus movies. You're just fueling the fire for more reckonings. We need more of these. We need more Pinocchio toy maker movies. So I'm gonna give this 2.5 chillin' fake outs out of 5.
I was pleasantly surprised with this film, but the ending is the best part. Like the last 15 minutes, I think everyone should go check out. But you just gotta get through the first hour. And given that we've seen so many bad Christmas movies, this one kind of fits the bill for like what I would want in a Christmas horror. But by no means is it great, but it's strangely a hidden gem. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 3 Beefcake Santas out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, links are in the description. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything here on Bloodbath TV, and have yourself a happy holiday.